Nobody buys ads like them. Thank you, Mike. With your help, we're going to win Wisconsin this November. We're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. And we're going to make America great again. And it ain't so great right now. It's a laughing stock all over the world, including our colleges, universities. Look at what's happening to our country. And our border. You know what? Some people say they do the colleges so you get your eyes off the border. I said that last night. We're not talking about the border. Millions of people are coming in. Millions of people. And we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in the history of the world. But they're not talking about that now. They're talking about colleges and universities, people that have gone astray. Last week we saw numbers showing clearly that the economy is crashing with the GOP growth plunging by more than 50% just in this quarter alone. Think of it. We're plunging. We're now in a Biden stagflation. You know what stagflation is? You know what it is? It's the worst. It's worse than inflation. It's worse than deflation. It's the worst. And we're in stagflation right now. Congratulations, everybody, which spells the death of the American dream, and that doesn't even include some of the horrible numbers that we're seeing flowing in from the poor and crime-ridden countries all over the world. To have people flowing in from the poorest and the heaviest crime countries all over the world. Congratulations. They come out of prisons, they come out of mental institutions, and they're coming in to be a neighbor right near you. So congratulations. I don't know how, I think Wisconsin probably, you're very open-minded toward that, right, Wisconsin? Are you open? I don't think so. No, it's terrible. What's happening is terrible. On top of all that, Biden has just declared that if he gets 4 more years, he will drench the middle class in the largest tax increases in the history of our country, vowing repeatedly that he will ensure that the Trump tax cuts, the biggest tax cuts in history, and then he says, oh, it's for the rich, not for the rich. It's for companies that employ people, and it's for the middle class. And the people that benefited the most are lower income people. They're the biggest benefit, and he wants them to expire. He'll never be able to replace them. It'll mean that you have the biggest tax increase in the history of our country. So I don't think we're going to let it happen. I don't see any way, if he wins, well, you know, they're trying this weaponization of the Justice Department. So far, that hasn't been working too well because we have the highest poll numbers we've ever had. People get it. But what it all means is under Crooked Joe, a single individual earning $75,000 a year will pay almost $2,000 more in terms of just the tax hike alone. And a family of 4 earning $165,000, that's a lot. Dollars a year will see at least $3,000 more added onto your taxes, which are already high. 73% of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck. That's the highest number ever recorded. Think of that, what that means, a paycheck to paycheck. So what does that mean? You get fired, you lose your job, you get sick, and you can't live? This is the highest number ever. It's up at a number nobody ever thought they'd see. Yet Crooked Joe Biden wants to raise taxes on top of that and raise business taxes, which will lead to the destruction of your jobs. And it's, you know what, ultimately it's just going to lead to the destruction of your country. You have so many negative forces on this country. Uncle Sam is right here. Look at him. You are perfect. This guy's the best. He's like a perfect Uncle Sam. Huh? He goes, we need you. That's right. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Get up here for a second. Look at this guy. Wow. He's in good shape. He's in good shape. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Look at this guy. The last one you signed up there. I'll sign it. I'll sign it. Yeah. He asked me to sign it. I said, I got to make a speech here, Uncle Sam. Good looking Uncle Sam, though, huh? Give me a pen, somebody. Let's get Uncle Sam taken care of. Come on. Give me a pen. I got to get a pen. Let's go. Yeah, good. Just go. Give me a pen. You think Biden can bend down like that? I don't think. Where's Uncle Sam? Here's your pen back. Thank you. Uncle Sam. You got it, man. Oh, that's nice. Secret Service. Secret Service doesn't love that stuff. You understand? They're not in love. They're looking like, what's he doing? Don't do this. But it's Uncle Sam, right? He looked good to me. But with me in the White House, we will protect the Trump tax cuts for working families. We will make our middle class stronger, bigger, better, stronger, wealthier, and more prosperous than ever before. We're going to do it quickly, too. It's not going to take a long time. You know, one thing, I was there. I know the good people. I know the bad people. I know the smart ones, the dumb ones, the ones that think they're smart. The ones that don't think they're smart and are smart, I know them, too. You got all different types, but I got to know them in 2016. I didn't know anybody. At 20, I learned fast. I know everybody. I know them better than anybody. The Biden job numbers are fake. He's counting people coming back from work. Remember when we had the pandemic, people left, and they'd say, come back in 2 months, 3 months, when this thing goes away, come back. He got those numbers, and he tries to add them on. And you call them, you know what they call them? Part-time, they call them fake numbers. They call them bounce back numbers. You know, it's a bounce back, automatic. If this young gentleman right in front of me were president, he'd have a bounce back. They'd say, oh, they were just our numbers. It's an important thing to know. But a lot of the numbers on that just came out on immigration and on employment were illegal immigrants. Almost all of the numbers were from illegal immigrants. Isn't that great? Isn't that fun? The illegal immigration that's being taken care of better than the people that have been in the country that are desperate for jobs. But when I'm in the White House, the Biden economic bust will quickly be replaced with the Trump economic boom. We're going to replace it. We'll replace it with. When I left office, you don't hear that. And they don't talk about it. And the fake news, these people right over here, they don't want to talk about it. But it's getting. But then Biden came in and unleashed mayhem on our economy just like he unleashed mayhem on our border. The border, there's never been anything like this, a border like this. There's never been anything in the world. There's never been a border like this in the history of the world. Using COVID as an excuse, could be Joe Biden launched the greatest confiscation of middle-class wealth in the history of our country. It's middle-class wealth. He confiscated it. In 3 years, Joe Biden and his party stole trillions of dollars from hardworking Americans and gave their political, and gave it all to their cronies in Washington, their their heirs to be. He gave so product. I said, well, that's a good thing. They said they can't keep product. They go, man. I told the manager, nice guy. I said, what happened? He said, we can't keep product. I said, oh, that's good. I said, no, this is a bit. They're walking in with bags. They're taking it off the shelves. So now they put bars up and they put glass up, and somebody wants to buy toothpaste, and it takes a half an hour for She's watching on television. She said, "That's my son." The Biden inflation, you know, it's interesting when the fake news reports a story. They'll say there was pandemonium. You know, one guy shouts something. I don't even know what the hell he shouted. There was pandemonium. But look, Front Row Joe, he ran back there just and look at that guy. Front Row Joe. That's good. He ran. When he sees trouble, he runs right into it. Every country needs people like that. Anyway, thank you, Front Row Joe. The Biden inflation disaster is a direct result of Crooked Joe's trillions in wild spending, and that's what's happened. The Biden price hike is a gigantic tax on the likes of which this country have never seen anything like it before. In the past 3 years, the average Wisconsin family has lost between $20,000 and $30,000 thanks to Crooked Joe's inflation tax code. Think of it. It's an inflation tax. It's a new tax. I just thought of it in the plane coming up here. I never used that expression. I call it Biden inflation tax. Because if you add what inflation has done to you, that's about a 30% tax increase. And I think even more than that. You could get a pay increase, but your pay increase doesn't nearly overcome what's happened with inflation. So I just came up with the name. I thought it was actually quite creative. It's called an inflation tax. We have a new tax, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new tax. It's called an inflation tax, and these price hikes are continuing to drain nearly $1,000 from the typical Wisconsin family every single month. Does that sound like a lot? I think it's a lot. Chicken, I love chicken, is up 24%. Baby food is up 30%. Eggs are up 50%. And a 30-year mortgage rate just hit 7.6%, one of the highest averages ever. Other than that, we're doing quite well. Do you agree? And the country's going to hell, but we're doing quite well. We're honored to be joined today by Shanna Gray, who owns a vegan restaurant. It's supposed to be really good. I'm not into the vegan stuff, I must say, but I'm going to have to try this. When we come here in a short period of time into Milwaukee, we're going to come and try like bacon food. I don't know if I'm going to like it. But she had a big business. Shanna says her business is being brutalized by the soaring cost of food. She's never seen anything like it. And right now, she says things just aren't working. She was doing great. 3.5 years ago, she was doing better than she ever did during the Trump years. She said, I was able to afford things. I wasn't worried about my future. I am now. I'm starting to really worry. The stress and the anxiety are really...
As we spoke before, it is very important that we change what is going on now. And none of us can continue to go with the Biden administration. We definitely need to make this house party over. We need Trump in 2024, so make sure you vote Trump 2024.
Thank you. How nice are those two? So that's Shanna's daughter. And think of what it's, I mean, it's just common sense. You know, it's very dangerous to bring people up here from the standpoint, you don't know what the hell they're going to say. We didn't rehearse that, Shanna, right? She could have said, ladies and gentlemen, don't vote for Biden. And everybody would just say, that's not a good thing he did. That's not too good. You never know what's going to say. So far, I've never had that problem, but that problem has been had before by others. But I want to thank Shanna. We'll get out, and we're going to go there during, you get ready for me. Maybe you can convince me with that vegan food, okay? You get a good, healthy vegan food. But the choice for Wisconsin is simple. If you want lower costs, higher incomes, and an affordable American dream, then you have no choice but to vote for a gentleman named Donald J. Trump. Crooked Joe likes to talk about junkies, but the biggest junk thief of all, think about it, is all of the 50% Biden inflation tax, and that's what it is. And just think of it. I mean, if you look at the real numbers of that, it's incredible. And we thought it was 30%, and we were sure it was no more than that. It turns out to be actually 50%. The extra cost you're paying at the grocery counter and the gas pump and all of the other places that you have to go buy no matter what you buy. And it's all taking place within 3.5 years. Think of it. But here's the good news. We have 6 months. Now, with these stupid people running our country, that's an eternity, because you could end up in World War III with this group here. You don't know what's going to happen. But 6 months sounds very short. It's not. Frankly, with them, it's an eternity. But it is not that long a period of time, and we'll be here very quickly, and we're going to have a good time, and we're going to have a great convention. And I'm honored to have chosen your state. You know, I could do it Rice. We're honored. We're honored. Biden has run the government like Robin Hood, essentially in reverse, stealing from the poor and giving it to the rich. That's actually what he does. You know, they talk the game, oh, Trump. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. It's like I was saying to you the other day, the New York Times, every story they write is the exact opposite. They're so untruthful. They take something and make it the opposite. So when you're reading a story, you have to remember, you just do the opposite. It's a terrible thing. It's the same with the Democrats. They say many of the rich people are with Democrats. It's changed. We become the party of the working. We become the party of the middle income. It's done a whole flip. Just listen, a few examples of what Biden's inflation taxes really brought. Crooked Joe is spending hundreds of billions of dollars to give $7,500 tax credits to rich people to buy electric cars. What do you think of electric cars? Well, I like Elon, but the car, and there's a place for electric cars. If you drive over to Jason Street, they want to have, by the end of, I guess, 5 years from now, by 2030, they want to have, think of this, almost everybody having an electric car, but they don't want it. And they're not selling. And one of the great things, people don't know, well, how come they keep getting it? You know why? Because the government, our government, subsidizes the hell out of them. So the car companies are doing okay. They're making cars that aren't selling. They're just not selling. They're giving billions and billions of dollars away in subsidy to create cars that people don't want. And again, I'm all for them. If you want to go to the candy store, buy yourself a little candy and come back home. But if you want to take a trip to a place like Mar-a-Lago to say hello to me, you better get yourself a different mode of transportation. And the scary part about that, they want trucks to be that way, and the trucks have to stop 6 times going to California versus not stopping at all. You get the big diesels, and it's really crazy. It's really crazy when you think of what they do. And they never change. You can explain this to them. 6 stops versus no stop. You don't have to know much more than that. There's one other thing. The battery would take up almost the entire truck. You wouldn't have any room for very much. They want to make our army tanks all electric. So that when we go into a foreign country, blazing hot, we're going in, we keep their environment and their air nice and clean. Now how crazy is it? Are we crazy? They want to use a certain fuel in airplanes. I bought an old brand new beautiful jet fighters. I rebuilt the whole military. They want to use a certain fuel that brings their jets back down to 15% less efficient. That's a lot. When you have somebody shooting at you on the other side, the 15% is the difference between winning and losing. So I said it's 15%. That's right. Now think of it. We're fighting over enemy territory. We're worried about their carbon content. I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about bringing our people back and winning. We're worried about winning. Even in South Carolina, I visited where, by the way, we beat the governor by a record number, the governor, the former governor. They have a great governor there now. But we did great. You know, in the primaries, we won every Iowa, no matter where we went. We won New Hampshire. We go to New Hampshire. We get the most votes in the history of the state of New Hampshire. In the primaries, Republican and Democrat. You know, Kennedy's, and they're right up in that territory. But Iowa, we won the largest one, different caucus state. We won the largest margin ever by 2. So we won the largest margin, double. And then we went to Nevada. We went all over the place. When we got to South Carolina, we won in record fashion. But we won in Nevada in record fashion. Every state we went to, we won in record fashion. And the brilliant honor. And then we won the quickest that anybody did win. You know, right now, if this was like a normal candidate for this country, like a normal person, they'd still be campaigning. But we had this thing over with 2 months ago or something. So I just want to thank everybody. Just want to thank everybody. That was a great feeling. Because there's something in the air. Let's say I haven't changed, and you know what bugs me? When they say, we have 2 very unpopular candidates, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. They're very unpopular. He's unpopular. I'm not unpopular. I'm like at 94% approval of the Republican Party. I'm not unpopular. The fake news. No, I hate that. It's terrible. We have 2 very unpopular people running for election. I'm not unpopular. I mean, look at the votes we're getting. We're winning virtually every state. We're winning every swing state. We're winning every national poll. We're not unpopular. I'm unpopular in China. I'm unpopular in some other places where we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. No other president's taken in 10 cents. They're not, loving me, but, I love this country. President Xi loves China. And, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? With Putin. Interesting. I entered Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 2 is a pipeline. Nobody ever heard of it before I came along. I ended the pipeline going all over Europe, going to Germany in particular, but all over Europe. I ended it. It was done. Biden came in and he approved it, the biggest deal ever done in Russia. And Putin once told me, he said, if you're supposed to be like a nice guy, I'd hate like hell to see you as a bad guy. You have been brutal. Think of ending the biggest economic development job, the biggest thing they've ever done is a pipeline going through all of Europe. I ended it. Biden comes in almost from the first day, he had to go forward. And then they say, Trump is easy on Russia. No, I was very tough in Russia. I got along with Putin very well. I got along with President Xi of China very well. Got along with Kim Jong-un of North Korea very well. And you know what? It's real. I'll tell you, there's a guy I wanted to foxhole with me. Now, where is that? He's a rough-looking guy. I want that guy in the foxhole. We can keep it down a little bit. That's all right, man. That's all right. No, people are angry about it. People are angry. It's like stupid. You know what I say about the party? It's become, with me running it, it's become the party of common sense. Our party. It's the party of common sense. You know? They say, there's a conservative, it is conservative. It's just common sense. There are things that aren't so conservative. We want the party, we want to have a wall, which, by the way, we built 571 miles of wall. We were going to put up another 200, and they came along and they didn't want the 200 miles of wall. They didn't want wall, and that's when I realized they really meant they wanted open borders. Who could ever think? That's a lack of common sense. Why would somebody want to have people pouring into our country, unvetted, unchecked? We know nothing about them. Even from a health standpoint, they're coming in and they have problems. It's sad. But those problems are contagious. Other people will get those problems. Why would anybody want this? It can't be great politically. There are those who say 2 reasons, but you probably can add a third. They hate our country. They're stupid. But see, they're not stupid because anybody that can cheat that well is not stupid, okay? And the other thing is that they want their votes, you know? And you wouldn't think they could do it that quickly, but they're trying to sign people up that just got here that don't speak a word of English, that lived in prisons and lived in mental institutions. They want to vote. But I think we're going to swamp them. The way you win is to swamp them. I think we're going to swamp them. Look at Joe spending millions and millions of dollars on hotel rooms for illegal aliens. Think of it. Hotel rooms, luxury hotel rooms in New York and other cities for illegal aliens. And our soldiers, our veterans, are laying on streets and not being taken care of. I will say in the VA, though, in the VA, we have the highest approval rating in the history of the VA, 92%. And now it's gone way down. Since I have something that, somebody has to do, it takes months and months to get a doctor. Something you get on there, you have a problem. Sometimes a very important problem, but if you fix it fairly quickly, no problem. And if you don't fix it quickly, you become terminally ill.